What up, everybody? This is Noble Artist here, and today is another Tutorial Tuesday. I haven't had a Tutorial Tuesday in a while. I did make a tutorial a couple days ago. Actually, I think my last video was a tutorial on how to paint a Viking shield. But I'm trying to get back into the swing of the routine, so today is a Tuesday, and it's a tutorial. Also want to mention that I'm trying to get back into the swing of the schedule that I set before you guys a long time ago, saying the You Pick I Paint Monday and stuff like that, but it's just been really crazy with work and everything is going on, and it's kind of hard to stick to the schedule, and I do apologize for doing things out of order. It's just sometimes difficult for me to remember to do things, even if it's a set schedule. I don't know if it's because I'm dyslexic or not, but I do have a really good memory when it comes to photos and images, but when it comes to just saying something and trying to stick to a plan just by saying it, it's kind of tricky for me to do. So I do apologize for that, but I will try to get more on the schedule. I'm going to hopefully try to write stuff down so I can get more on the same page, no pun intended, with everything, and then have more of a guideline of when stuff's going to come out and when I'm going to do it, because I do want to make a ton of stuff. I haven't finished these figures yet. I haven't even made any of the figures from the new movie, which I need to do. There's like a massive list. The list is like never ending of figures that I need to make and finish, because I haven't even finished like my Viking and stuff like that. But I can do stuff like this for the time being, because the other stuff, it takes a lot of preparation and mental willingness to do. So I'm going to do some tutorials and get some customs out hopefully soon. It does help by letting me know what you want to see next, because when I get indecisive, it's nice to know what everyone wants to see. Someone mentioned shoulder pads and how to do them, so that's why I'm making this tutorial. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into it, because it's already been 2 minutes and you haven't seen nothing yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So there's a lot of different tutorials I can make, and a lot of different little tricks and things you do when you're prepping your custom. I'm going to do this on a Stormtrooper. I want to do a Stormtrooper. This is the first thing I grabbed, and I haven't done it in a while. I think I only have one left, so I might need to get some more of those when I can get the capital. So what you're going to need is a minifigure. Doesn't have to be Star Wars. It can be anything. It doesn't even have to be Star Wars shoulder pads. You can use shoulder pads for anything you want. Now, I use 3 different types of metal as of now, because I had 2 types of metal back in the day, and then I ordered a new type of metal for my armor pack, or for the template that I had, and it's a different type of metal. It's a lot thinner than I would want it to be, but it does work quite well. The only problem is I have a difficulty cutting out shoulder pads with that metal. This is the metal that I have. It might just be my hole punch, but it could be the metal itself. I'm not sure exactly what it is, because my hole punch is super old. This thing is like 10 years old, so it could just be really dull. So I'm not going to be using this metal for that. I also have this thicker copper metal, which I already have previously made shoulder pads, which I have here, which I'm going to be using. This is the metal that I'm trying to find. I don't know how to find it. This stuff is perfect. I don't have a lot of it left, so I'm trying to use it very sparingly until I can figure it out. I was on eBay today trying to figure out how I can find more of this stuff. It's kind of a hit or miss as far as ordering it and seeing if it's the right kind of thing. But either way, I can still use it. It's all metal. But what you're going to do is, basically it's a hole punch is the shape of the shoulder pad. And yes, I do tweak it and do other things, which I'll show you some different ways you can do the shoulder pad as far as decorating and whatnot. But I just kind of started a corner, and then boop, cut out a shoulder pad, and then boop, cut another one. This is also the same shape I use for the center crotch guard. I just kind of trim it up a bit. That's for a different tutorial. But I cut out 4 of these, which I'm not going to use the ones I just cut out, because I'm going to need those for other figures. I'm going to use these copper ones, because these are pretty cool too. They kind of got that copper look. So tools you're going to need, I'll start with that. You're going to need a hole punch for sure. I'm going to be using, if I can find it, a pair of scissors. These are my metal cutting scissors. Basically, they're duller than the other ones. I don't want to mess up my fabric scissors, so these are really old, crummy. So I have metal scissors. I always have my handy tweezer bees for applying to said figure. Super glue, which I got at Walmart, which I found that it's cheaper to get this at Walmart than it is the dollar store. You actually get a lot more if you get it at Walmart. Sorry, something was driving by. I got distracted, okay? I thought it was the mailman because I'm expecting something and it's not here. But anyway, you'll need those for sure. And if you add the details that I'm going to do later, or the other features, you may need an X-Acto knife, but we'll get to that later. And you'll also need a paintbrush. This can be substituted with anything as long as it's kind of got that width to it. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really just a hole punch, some scissors, tweezer bees, or tweezers, whatever you want to, you feel comfortable applying something with, glue, a figure, and metal. That's all you need. So once we have the shoulder pad, normally the arms are painted, which I can always go back and do, so me doing this now isn't a big deal. But there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to do it as, you can leave it plain, or you can trim a little bit off, which I'm going to trim a little bit of that off, you can see. And what we're going to do is the trimmed side, the flat side, is going to go up against the figure's body. So we're going to take the paintbrush and we're just going to use that to, the thicker part of it, to bend this, because we kind of want that round shape of the figure, of his arm. So you have that kind of bow in it. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it has that kind of bend. That's what we want. And then you want to also make sure your arm is lined up straight, because if it's kind of crooked and you put it on, when the figure has his arm straight, which where you'll need it, his shoulder pad might be facing in a weird direction. So make sure that the elbow and arm is lined up how you want it. And then put a wee bit of glue. You don't want to put too much, but you don't want to put a little. I've accidentally glued the arms to the figures before, so it's not too fun, but because it is on the arm, you can just move it and kind of break the lock that the glue has, so it's not the end of the world if it does happen. So now we're just going to kind of line this up, gently set it right on top. Now you will have some time before it dries, so nobody can panic. You just kind of look at it and see how you want it. That is actually a little off, so I'm going to straighten that up a little bit. I'm going to angle it down just a little more. Look at it from a side angle. See, is that good enough? You can't always get it perfect, but you just want it to, as long as you're satisfied with it. And I'm pretty satisfied with the way this one looks. So we will leave it as so. Now the next shoulder pad, I'm going to do something a little different, because this would be boring if I just put a plain shoulder pad on. Now when I try to make custom shoulder pads, like granted this is custom, but if I want to do like a different design or something just out of the norm, I guess you would call it, what we're going to do is put the exact same shoulder pad. Oh, that's a lot of glue. That's a lot of glue, people. Too much, too much. If you have a toothpick, it helps you if you want to soak up some of that extra glue. That does not, never a bad idea to have a backup. So we're going to put this shoulder pad on. Make sure we get that one lined up as well. You want it to be roughly the same. You kind of look at it and say, okay, well, they're at the same angle, because you don't want one to be off weird. So those are both on like so. But what we're going to do now is we're going to do another shoulder pad. Cut it off again. Now you don't have to cut this little piece off. I just do it sometimes. I actually don't do it all the time. Only just if I'm in the mood for it, I'll just do it. But other than that, I just slap on the shoulder pad. There's no difference either. It's just like a preference. We're gonna put a little bit more glue on this, and we are going to give this one a little bit more detail. So we're going to angle this one up a little bit. Like that. So we basically just layered that shoulder pad up. I'm not sure if it's going to focus. I need to get a new camera. That's on my to get list. This one's not bad, but from time to time it doesn't want to focus. So now we have the double shoulder pad. which is really cool. But I also made one with 3, which I'm going to go for the third one. And bam, cut that off. Bend it just a little bit. And when you're doing this, like, let your imagination go crazy. Like, I've had so many different shapes of shoulder pads, so many different styles. It's just unbelievable. Before I had this template of clone armor and just doing kind of a cookie cutter pattern with their armor, because I mean it is the same, it's just got some small variations. I would make the coolest shoulder pads, and everything was just so unique. I still do unique shoulder pads from time to time, but like with the Vibro or the Ray Shield armor shoulder blades, shoulder pads, those are really fun. So then I'm gonna put that third one on there, and it focuses. Now you can use this technique if you're trying to layer up like knight's armor, if you want to do it all the way down the arm like maybe a gladiator or whatnot. But that's just one way, one style you can do. See if the helmet actually fits back on. And the helmet does fit back on. You might not be able to see it, but there's a gap there. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a gap, and it doesn't get in the way. I'm not sure if you'll be able to move his hand. Yep, he can move his arm all the way back and all the way forward without it hitting the helmet. I'm sure if you can see that gap right there. So that's just a really cool effect you can do, and then you can also put some pauldrons and whatnot. But I'm also going to do something else to that other shoulder pad. I'm going to add some ammo packs or supply packs or grenades, and that loud noise was me dropping something off camera. So what I'm going to do is take a toothpick, and I'm going to pick my teeth real quick. No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to do that. But you could if you want. You can use the toothpick as it's intended, and then use the rest of it for your Legos. There ain't no shame in that. Alrighty, so we're going to cut this tip off because we don't need the point of that. Now you can also use the spiky end of these toothpicks and make like a spiky shoulder pad, which are pretty cool. And then I was going to sand it down, because sometimes when you cut these dowel rods, these little toothpicks, they get kind of a uneven edge to them. But we're gonna cut some of these little cylinders if they'll cut. And actually, while I'm thinking about this, there might be a better piece. Let me put that on pause really quick. Not that piece. This might be a little bit better. Sometimes you don't want pieces that are too big because it's just gonna not look proportionate. Proportionate is a good word to use when you're trying to make things with Lego. You don't want it to just look really out of place. This here is like a wire. You can get these from anything. Every electronic device basically has something like this in it. Well, maybe not everything, but like alarm clocks, old calculators, probably just any old thing you can find. I had an old computer charger that had a bunch of them in it. So this wire, you might not be able to see it because I can't let it focus, but it's almost half the width of this toothpick. So if you think, wow, this thing is huge, I don't want this on my custom, which isn't too bad. It's got a good size to it. If you don't want to use something like this, you could always use these wires because it's a lot smaller. Let me take a look real quick and see what I prefer, because I'm actually going to be using this custom. I want to make sure I'm putting the right thing on it. I'm actually going to use the toothpick for this one because I might use this wire somewhere else on the figure, and I don't want to repeat the same material if possible, to give it more texture and more just give it more depth to it. Because if you have the same piece or the same material everywhere, it kind of takes away from it. And if I do anything special with that wire, like put some hoses going from the armor and whatnot, I don't want it to be like a common thing. So I'm actually going to do 3 of these, because 3 of them is usually a good amount, because that's about the length of the shoulder pad itself. You can fit about 3 comfortably on there. And if you noticed, it's been about 14 minutes, and I spent a lot of time talking. I mean, I'm working as I'm talking, but granted, I am talking, and the first 2 minutes don't really count. But you can see, like, I've done all this work in, you know, under 20 minutes. But you're going to take your toothpick, put a little glue on it like I just did, and we're going to put the top one on first, because you should always start from the top and work your way down, simply because, oh, better make sure the helmet fits. Bring that down just a little bit. You kind of want, okay, before it dries, I'm going to situate it. You always start from the top and work your way down, because if you started down here, you might not be able to fit a piece up there where it needs to be. And you could always stop down here and make it go off the shoulder pad, but you can't go up to a certain point, if that makes sense. Basically, you have more room for error the farther down the shoulder pad you get. So when you don't have room for error, you might as well work with that area first. And then dowel rod, toothpick, whatever you want to call it, dries really quick. It dries really fast to other wood, so these pieces are on there pretty tight. This super glue, you will have a little bit of time to work with it, like maybe 10 seconds. So make sure you want it where you place it. But again, this is not a lot of glue, it's wood. I could rip these off if I wanted to. If I really wanted to, I could take them off and it wouldn't be the end of the world. So then this shoulder pad now has these really cool packs, like so. And then even more detail, if you want to go crazy on this thing, I will take this little sliver of metal that I have, which is, that's good. Take this little bit of metal, and I'm going to bend it over part of this toothpick just to get the initial shape, just to get that bend in the metal. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. And then I'm going to glue it to the, I'm going to try to touch it to the shoulder pad and just let it, well, I've got to line it up. Make sure your stuff's lined up. That's always important. Oh no. Sorry, I can't see what y'all are seeing. My big fingers are in the way, I apologize. So that's good. That's a good spot. Take another toothpick just so we can kind of push that, because I don't want to get my hands in all in there. So once that's firm, dried enough, I mean, I can probably hold the whole figure up by this piece of metal. So that's on there. What we're going to do now is put a little bit of metal, put a little bit of glue on the underside of that metal. Take another toothpick, push down, and you want to push down into the grooves of the toothpick so it forms. You can see how that metal just formed right over the rolls of that toothpick. Let me finish it off and I'll try to get my camera to focus on it. We're going to cut off the tail piece. Add a little more glue. Oh, snap! Add a little bit more glue, and I put like half the bottle on it. We're just going to bend that little extra piece around. It's okay that it didn't go all the way around. It went where I wanted it to be, where it needed to be. So now we're going to let this focus. And then, voila! Now you have that awesome metal over top. It just adds more texture, more detail, and the metal over there acts as like the almost like the clip that holds it onto the shoulder. So that's a really cool feature you can do with your figures. Unfortunately, I do not have a figure already made with that on there. I'm trying to see if I do. I don't already have one made with that, and his arm is actually stuck. Oh, there we go. Let that wiggle. And then with the helmet on, as you can see, he can move it up and down, back and forth, and all that stuff. So it depends on your helmet. You might want to be careful of how you do it. You don't want to like break it off or anything. And also, certain things might not look good on certain figures, so just keep that in mind. So that is how I do just some of my simple shoulder pads. You can start with just the shoulder pad. You can add stuff to it. You can add more shoulder pads, make a cool design. And I could paint this, but there's not really much secret to painting. If you guys want to see me do more painting with this, I actually want to do more painting, but kind of start to finish stuff. I don't know if you want to see these smaller details on how I do this, because I'm basically just going to take white paint and just go over all of this, let it dry, probably put like a stripe on it. But if you want to see me paint this, let me know. I will leave it blank for now, and if you guys want to see that video or see me do that, I will make a video of me painting it, painting a cool color on it or whatnot. So just let me know in the description what tutorials you want to see next. What I really want to do is, if I can get a new camera that can record a lot longer, just maybe like a video camera, I'm going to try to attach it somewhere like here or just above my desk and do a start to finish figure. I might time lapse it because they take a couple hours, or I might be able to get one out in an hour, but it's going to be a start to finish figure, and I'm going to do basically the steps you just saw, but with the entire arm, the legs, just everything. So it'll start out with this, and then eventually it's going to look like something like that. So I think that'd be really cool to do a time lapse or just a whole video start to finish making a custom. So let me know if you guys are interested, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm probably going to try to do it either way, just to give it a go, see what happens. And I hope you guys can learn a lot from those type of videos too. So if you learned anything from this video, if you liked it, you know what to do, hitchhike it. Don't forget to fist pound the subscribe button up here. It helps me out a whole lot. This month has been super awesome. All the support, everything you guys have done, I really appreciate it. It's been so encouraging. Like when you're having a bad day and or just things aren't really going well, to check your YouTube and see that people appreciate what you're doing and you're getting subscribers, and what you're doing is making a difference, I guess, for the Lego community. It's just super encouraging, and I wouldn't have that joy if it wasn't for everybody who watches my videos. I want to help you guys make your customs as best as they can possibly be. I know it's hard to, not everyone's talented with painting and stuff like that, but I taught myself how to do this, and trust me, if I can do it, then anybody can. I've been doing this for a long time, so if it takes you, years to do it, don't give up, because eventually if you keep practicing every day, you will get much better. And who knows, there's probably people out there who can surpass me, and I have seen a lot of really good customs. So don't give up. If there's something you need help with, if a tutorial, let me know, and I will do my best to try to get a video out of it. Someone want to know about the shoulder pads, this is how to do it. These are the tools you need. I will be making a new video on the tools because people keep asking me what tools to use, and I'm going to be very clear on a video. Hopefully I'll get the information of prices for things. If it's even possible, I'll try to get these tools and sell them on my eBay so people don't have to go searching everywhere for them. And even that, like, I'm not going to try to make a profit off of it. I'll just sell them so I can just break even, but just make it an easy way for you guys to get the equipment that you need, because without the tools, you won't have, you won't be able to do anything. So that's a big part of it. But I think everyone might have a hole punch. I hope so. Even if you have one of those big ones that has like the 3 hole punch on it for like a piece of paper, you could still put the piece of metal in there and do that with it. So anyway, I hope you'll have a super awesome day. Don't forget that if you're the first person to leave a comment on my video, I will leave a shout out up in here. And if you have content on it, I will put a link to your video. I'm also going to put the shout outs down in the description, because a lot of people, I think if they're on like their phones or whatnot, they don't see the annotations all up in here. So I'll put the shout out down in the description. Also, I'll put a link to my other tutorials right over here. I'll put a link to that down in the description as well. And I'll also put a link to my eBay, because people keep asking me if I do sell my figures. Everything that I do have for sale, it will be on my eBay. Eventually, hopefully, if I can get it made, I will make a website, because I really want to do that. But until then, it's going to be going through eBay. So that will all be there. Sorry for the rambling at the end of this video, because I know you probably just wanted to see this tutorial. But I just had to get some of that out, because if not, I'm going to have to do another update. And I've done so many updates lately, it's crazy. So I do want to finish these soon. I don't know if I'll be able to get them out for Christmas. But even after Christmas, you can still get a late Christmas present. or if you get Christmas money, you can buy them. It doesn't have to be on the day of Christmas, you know. That's not the end of the world if it is. So I will get those done. I will be working on my Viking. I want to do a lot more of this old school stuff because I love these. I really want to do a tutorial on the Roman shield. It's so cool. It's a lot of fun to make that one. And I really need to make some of the new Star Wars figures. So I have a lot to do, and I got a big list to put together. So use this time to let me know in the comments what you want to see, and I will do my best to get it out there. And yeah, so with that being said, God bless you all. Have a wonderful, awesome, super fantastic day. Give this a try. If you do make it, make a video, make a custom, let me know and I will go check it out. Also, if you somehow made it to the end of this video, congratulations. And if you see this and if you have your video or whatever, your video entry for the weapons contest, feel free to post that or let me know in the comments of this video if you have it up so I won't miss it out. Alrighty, with that being said, I'm out of here. Bye guys.